Hello everyone! In this video, we're going to have a look at Genius Invocation TCG, gameplay rules and detail. Hoyoverse just dropped a massive post on Genius Invocation TCG like a couple hours ago, and we're going to go through all of them one by one. There are like certain information that are being revealed during the special program, which happens like 1 week ago. But for now, we're going to have a deeper look at the gameplay rules, and certain mechanism that we need to take note of when playing the Genius Invocation TCG. All right, let's go through the post together, shall we? So first of all, we're going to unlock the cattail when 3.3 releases, right? And we're able to unlock the TCG gameplay by approaching Prince. Prince is apparently the black cat, there's available in the cattail, okay? You need to be at least adventure rank 32. I mean, to be honest, right, I kind of feel like 32 is a little bit too high, for those player that just want to play Genshin Impact for the TCG. I mean, it should be fine for those existing players that are in Genshin, but for those that are just starting out, they might need to spend like a day or two and complete all the story quests and arcane quests in order to reach adventure rank 32. I guess it's kind of like a way Hoyoverse trying to promote their game, by introducing them to the lore of Genshin Impact. Because yeah, for those that care, I believe you guys find it interesting, right? I mean, the lore in Genshin is definitely top tier, yeah, which is perfectly fine. And you kind of need to complete the pre-quest, I would say, to increase your player level and get perma gems and other reward related to Genius Invocation TCG. Okay, let's have a look at the main objective together. Genius Invocation TCG is a game where you face your opponent with a deck of cards. A deck is made up of character card and action card. I believe like all three characters over here, like Kea, Diluc, and Sucrose here are like character card. And we have like action cards, which is kind of like those there at the bottom. All right. Use your character card to attack and defeat your opponent character card. Once you have defeated them all, so in order to win a battle against the enemy, right? Yeah, you kind of need to defeat all three enemy character card. Okay. Some elemental reactions such as Swirl might come into place, which will be very useful in terms of dealing AoE damage to the enemies. Okay, let's have a look at the game area. There will be a character zone at the top here, like the three character where our character sits, and elemental dice at the top right corner over here. So elemental dice is probably like the points that is available for you to spend to perform certain tasks, right? When you are casting your action card, you will consume elemental dice. When you are using normal attack or character skill, with your character card, it will consume the elemental dice as well. And I believe we get 8 elemental die based on this special program, right? And you can reroll the elemental die. We're gonna go through that together later, right? We're gonna focus on the game areas right now. So for number 3, right, I mean at the bottom right corner, we kind of have the character skills, which is kind of the skills for the active character that we have on the board right now. And it will shows like the amount of elemental die that which it will consumes, right? We kind of have like one anemo. I mean, for normal attack, we kind of need to use one anemo die and 2 any other elemental die. And for the elemental skill over here, it consumes 3 anemo elemental dice. And for the elemental burst, right, it consumes 3 anemo and 2 what do you call this, like points for the burst. If you look at the character card, right, at the top right corner, there are like 2 diamond shaped icon for Sucrose, 3 for Diluc, and 2 for Kea, right? Yeah, this charges will gain, you will gain charges for the active character when you perform normal attack or elemental skill, right? So you kind of need to cast normal attack and elemental skill in order to gain the charges, and once the charges are maxed out, you're able to use the elemental burst. Yeah, just like how Genshin Impact works. And some character skills can create summons in the summon zone to assist player. Okay, so apparently this is kind of like the elemental burst of Sucrose, right? And based on the top right corner, it indicates like 3, which means that this summons is probably gonna last for 3 rounds, which is very cool. And you're gonna do like 2 anemo damage to enemies, yeah, probably AoE, I would say. I mean, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I kind of feel like it should be an AoE damage dealing summons, yeah. And we're gonna have like a support card, which is a Paimon. And there's like a stopwatch with one up there at the top right corner of Paimon. Probably that means that it's gonna work for one round, probably. I'm not too sure, but yeah. Support card will be placed in the support zone. Can hold up to 4 support card, okay. So apparently, you know, we can only get like 4 summons, 4 support card. You know, when you're building your deck, you kind of don't want to have like too many of one type, you know. You kind of want to spread out and have like even distribution, yeah, so that you won't get limited by the amount of summons or support card you can have during the matches, yeah. And draw power is kind of like, you know, you have a deck and you're gonna draw a card from the deck, and the deck is kind of like you're able to preview your deck before the challenge, right? And if the draw pile has no card left, then no new card will be added to the hand. I guess if that's the case, you know, I mean, the only thing that you can do is to use normal attack or elemental skill or burst, you know, with your elemental die, you know. I mean, you can still play the game. It's kind of just that you don't have any action card anymore, yeah, which is kind of like referring to like the support card and other card that can affect the gameplay. Okay, in the duel, you can draw a card from the draw pile and add to your hand. We can have maximum of 10 card in your hand, which means that more than 10 card, you can't draw any more card. Yeah, which is perfectly fine. I mean, if you're having like too many cards at once, you know, that, I mean, it adds much more possibility, you know, of ending the enemy in a single round, because you can keep on stacking buffs and stuff. And I mean, there are like certain cards that doesn't cost any elemental die. I look at this as 0101. Yeah, which means that you can just keep on stacking and just destroy the enemy in a single round. Yeah, which is very cool. Okay. So yeah, moving on, we're gonna focus on the duel flow. I mean, over here, they're telling us like how each game are being carried out. You have like preparation rounds and victory. In each round, you have role phase, action phase, and end phase. Okay, pretty standard, I would say. So before a duel start, we're gonna get 5 action card from the draw pile, okay? And we are able to reroll our 5 card. I mean, you can pick whichever card that you want to reroll, I guess. And you can just reroll them and get like new card. It's kind of like similar to how the elemental die reroll, right? It's kind of similar to the elemental die reroll, where you're able to reroll your starting action card, you know, which is good. You know, it reduces the uncertainty and probability, you know, of getting cards that you don't want early on, right? Because you're able to reroll. Once the player has decided on the starting hand, character card must be selected as your active character. Okay, we're gonna set the active character after we confirm with whatever action card that we want to start with. And during the roll phase, we're gonna roll 8 elemental die. Okay, I think everyone know about this, right? And we're able to reroll any number of elemental die and reroll them. Okay, and after that, we will enter the action phase. Yeah, this is the interesting part. During the action phase, a player will go first. Both sides will take turn to make their moves. Okay. Yeah, I kind of feel like this is kind of referring to, I mean, in a TCG game, right? There's, I mean, it's kind of not about TCG, but in any turn-based competitive games, right, there is always a first mover advantage, right? So if you're going first, yeah, you're gonna get an advantage over the opponent. Okay. And in matchmaking and co-op, player who goes first is randomized. In other mode, you will always go first. I think other modes over here is kind of referring to the open mode challenge. I mean, basically PvE content. Yeah, in PvE content, you always go first. But if you're playing with your friends or you're matchmaking with random players, yeah, most probably, I mean, not most probably, but yeah, it will be random. So yeah, there will be certain games, you know, where you're gonna go second, but there are like certain games you will go first. And how does game decide that? You know, it's like RNG, you know. I mean, it would be interesting if they have like a coin flip animation before the game start to make it much more interesting. But I mean, I think that probably won't be such thing. I'm not too sure. We're gonna have a look together when 3.3 drops. So yeah, over here they are showing us the actions that we're able to use. You know, we can use skill, switch character. Okay. Pay the relevant cost to use the active character skill. And the amount of cost is kind of like being listed, you know, below the icon. There's a 1 and 2 over here. And for switch character, you can pay one elemental die of your choice to switch your active character. If you look closely, right, when you switch your character, your turn ends instantly. Like over here, you have an active Kaya, right? And when the person that's showcasing this demo right here, when the person switch to Sucrose, right, the turns end instantly. So you're gonna need to make sure that you complete all the things that you want to do, right? And then only you switch character. And I believe on the round where you are switching character, right, you are not able to attack the enemy, I would say. Yeah, it's kind of like being explained later on, you know, in the advanced post. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that later. Okay, there's like a play card. Okay, pay the relevant cost and play card from your hand. Yeah, it is kind of like just casting actions card, right? And nothing much. Consuming your elemental die and it will play the action card like Paimon. Yeah, not too sure what Paimon does over here. But it's kind of like just play Paimon. And Paimon gonna be over here, okay? And we have elemental tuning. Yeah, I kind of feel like elemental tuning is useful for, I mean, in certain scenario where you need a certain elemental type and you don't have it, right? And you are able to sacrifice the card on your hand, you know, and convert it to the element that you want. You can pick the element and switch it to like cryo, right? So that your KR is able to use his elemental skill. Yeah, because it's gonna cost like 3 cryo die, right? And declare round end. And once you're done, you know, you just click end round. And pretty standard. It's gonna go to next round. Once both player declare end of round, action phase will end. Okay. So in the end phase, starting with the player who acted first, various card effect will be triggered in order on the field. Both player will then draw 2 cards from their draw pile. And the next round begin. So you're gonna get 2 card until we get like 10 card, you know, in case we didn't use any action card. And apparently, you know, this enemy over here is kind of like a cat, right? The showcase here, we're actually fighting a cat. Are we fighting the cats the whole time? Oh. Yeah, I just noticed that if you look at the top left corner, it kind of shows the opponent that you are fighting against. Yeah, apparently we are playing the TCG against a cat. And the cat is having like lots of summons, right? We have an Oceanid with lots of HP at 24 over here. And yeah, they have like multiple summons, yeah, that gonna constantly deal like damage to us. Yeah, which is pretty annoying. I mean, I kind of hope that there will be a card that is allowing us to just remove all the summons on the enemy side. Or like both sides, or I mean something need to be done. Like they're so annoying. I mean, they're annoying in the actual game, and they're having similar thing in the trading card game as well. Oh no. Yeah, the Hydro Mimics. Oh my god. Okay. System rule. I think that's all for the combat related stuff, right? And over here we have like system rule, which explains that you're able to get player level. A player level over here is kind of similar to adventure rank, you know, for our exploration and stuff. And we're able to get player XP by completing duels against NPC, right? I mean, we can only get the player XP by completing PvE related content, because Hoyoverse do mention that players are not getting any rewards, right, from the PvP content. Yeah, they kind of just want to make the TCG PvE focus, but having an optional gameplay, you know, that you can try it out with your friend or with random matchmaking with player, and you know, you might get fame. And you're gonna tell your friends that, yo, I'm so good at TCG, I beat like 10 random dudes on the internet. I don't know, but yeah, You can earn player XP and increase your player level through following option. Okay, they're gonna show us like the way for you to gain player XP. And certain features are being locked behind the player level, I would say. You know, like the co-op match unlocked, you know, it's kind of like level 1. I mean, it would be like, oh, never mind. Uh, I guess when you unlock level 1, you're gonna unlock the co-op match. I mean, I kind of believe that you get level 1 after you're done with the tutorial. You know, I'm not too sure. But yeah, we gotta get like player guide and stuff. Yeah, I believe it's kind of like after the tutorial, you know, we will be level 1 and level 2, level 3. And I think matchmaking unlocks at level 6, if I'm not mistaken, based on the post. Yeah, it will be mentioned later. You can earn player XP and increase your player level through the following challenges. Okay, there will be open world matches. Yeah, I believe that this open world matches, right, is one time only, and you can only do it. I mean, after you defeat the enemy, right, most probably you won't be able to receive additional rewards. And yeah, if you want to have like card icon on the minimap, right, you kind of need to equip the gadget, right, which is available after you unlock the system, right? And yeah, there are like two different kind of challenges. If you look at the picture over here, there's like one card. I mean, there's like a card here, and is that Timmy? I mean, there's a card icon on the bridge. So apparently we are gonna fight Timmy. And over here, I think they did mention that there will be two level of difficulty: adventure challenges, which are easier, and duel, which are harder. And apparently that the exclamation mark card over here is like where Timmy's standing. And yeah, Timmy is gonna be a hard duel, I would say. And hard duel probably gonna give like better rewards and stuff. I mean, on the first day though, I mean, for those that want to grind out this game, I mean, this gameplay, you know, you might just want to focus on all the easier one and do the harder one later once you get like more cards. Yeah, because we're going to get like cards when we complete the challenge objective. And yeah, there will be weekly gas challenges as well, which will give additional player XP. So, you know, based on my understanding, right, like Hoyoverse, what they're going to do is kind of like after completing every single open world challenge, yeah, we're probably gonna get to level 4, 5, or 6. I'm not too sure, but after we complete every single open world challenge, you know, we kind of need to do the weekly gas challenge in order to get more player XP. And you know, if you look at the adventure rank system, you know, from 55 to 60, it takes like a very long time for you to get from 55 to 60. I mean, like nowadays there are lots of people that are adventure rank 60, but still, you know, I mean, this game has been released for like 2 years, but yeah, the duration it takes from 55 to 60 kind of takes like a couple months, right? So I believe that they would have like something similar over here as well, you know, even though they're only like 10 levels, I would say. I mean, I'm not too sure, but it should be 10 levels or something. Okay. Traveler can talk to Prince, right, and check their player level. It's kind of like Catherine, but for the TCG. Yeah, when you level up, you're able to unlock more feature and game mode. When you receive ascension challenges, okay, apparently we are getting ascension challenges as well, similar to how we get ascension challenges for adventure rank when we want to increase our adventure rank. Yeah, they have something similar for the player level as well. Okay, interesting. So over here, complete challenges to collect character card. We are able to invite character, you know, from the board over here in the cattail, I would say. And it consumes a ticket, invitation letter, not ticket. And after inviting them, right, after you use the ticket, after you use the letter to invite them, you need to fight them for like 3 rounds, right? And after winning them for like 3 times, you're able to get their card, something like that. Yeah, you can earn corresponding character and talent card. Yeah, it is kind of like a system where it limits like how many character you can get on the first few week of the TCG release, right? Because I kind of feel like the resources, I mean, the invitation letter will be kept to a certain amount where you're not able to buy. I mean, you are not able to invite every single character on the first week. It gonna take some time. So I probably gonna make a tier list for the best character, to invite in terms of meta or something. I'm not too sure because everything is like so random. I mean, as in everything like is so unexplored. People don't know like which character are the best. So it gonna take some time. To determine like which character is like the strongest. But I believe that Hoyoverse is gonna have a good balancing system on all the character cards. So yeah, we're gonna grind through the TCG and see like how many character we can get. We're gonna collect some opinions from the community and have a tier list. Okay. But usually though, like tier lists in the first month probably won't be that accurate, right? Yeah, because if you guys remember back in Genshin 1.0, we have like certain character that are like S tier but become slightly weaker, right? After, I mean, like Benny was like B tier back then. But yeah, it's kind of like player need to have some time to explore, the possibility with like certain card. Yeah, I mean, there are like certain card, that might get trashed by some people, might become extremely powerful when people realize that their hidden potential, and the gameplay that you can do with those cards. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Tavern challenges. Oh, I've been talking for like 20 minutes and we're still in the basics. Okay, tavern challenges over here. What is this? Once your player level reaches a specific level, you can go seek out Prince, partake in greater tests of mastery. Nani? Wait, okay, apparently they have like multiple game modes. Yeah, first of all, you have character invitation. Earlier we have ascension challenge, and over here we have tavern challenges. So apparently there are like multiple challenges, when you talk to Prince, there will be like tavern challenges as well. And there are like two different level, friendly fracas, right? And serious showdown, which is harder. I believe that serious showdown should be extremely powerful AI that is able to predict every move that you're gonna do. I'm not too sure. You're gonna observe that together, but based on what Hoyoverse does frequently, right? You're probably able to get all the important resources by completing the friendly fracas, and you kind of don't need to do the serious showdown. Serious showdown is kind of like for those that want to want to have like a greater challenge, right? If you look at the friendly fracas, you can get the card. I'm not too sure about the serious showdown. They didn't show anything over here, but yeah. Don't forget to check your TCG player manual. Okay, we're getting another book, besides Adventurer Handbook, we're gonna get a TCG player manual. And we're gonna get like more tasks that we need to complete, and we're able to unlock cards and coins, right? And I think I saw NRE down here. Okay, there is an NRE card. Probably gonna heal your character or something, and this is like chubby or tubby, not sure. Can't see it clearly. And we're gonna get primal gems, crazy. Lucky coin and action card. I mean, for lucky coin though, it's kind of hard to get them. You can only get them from completing the adventure handbook, right? And you can do open world exploration. I mean, open world challenge against those NPCs out there, and you're able to get it from weekly visitor, to the tavern, and that's it though. I mean, there's like no other way for you to get the lucky coin, I would say. Yeah, because PvP don't give any reward. I mean, that lucky coin is kind of hard to get. It's kind of similar to your player XP, for the TCG system. And yeah, there will be a shop, for us to purchase new cards and stuff with our lucky coin. And I would say that, yeah, we probably won't be able to purchase everything in the shop on the first day or even like first few weeks. It might take like a couple months for us to buy everything in there. Yeah, we're gonna see how everything goes. Yeah, if that's the case though, then yeah, we might need to have like a priority of purchasing, like which card is like very strong against PvE content, I mean, yeah, there are like definitely cards that are strong in PvE, and there are like certain cards that are strong in PvP, right? Yeah, because but without doing the PvE content, you won't be able to get certain card that is being locked behind the open world challenges. Yeah, so it's kind of like better to focus on PvE card first, and later on, we're gonna move on to PvP, right? Yeah, I kind of feel like we should be focused on PvE first, because without the PvE content, we can't even get like most of the card. And we're gonna see how everything goes. Let's check out the card shop. You must reach a certain player level to purchase dynamic skin. Okay, dynamic skin being locked behind certain player level. I mean, I kind of feel like this is mainly like Hoyoverse, they don't want player, to just buy dynamic skin and don't have any other action card. Yeah, I kind of feel like certain player, right, that they don't want to play the TCG, and they just want to get the dynamic skin. They might just use all their lucky coin to buy the dynamic skin and not being able to get like 30 cards for 30 action card for the deck. I'm not sure. In order to buy item related to TCG, you must use the special currency lucky coin. Complete open world matches, weekly gas challenge, and quests in the TCG player manual to earn. Yeah, that's like very last way for you to get the lucky coin, to be honest. Okay, let's move on. You can play with a friend in co-op mode. Yeah, it's kind of funny when your friends are using a card that you have never seen before. Like, oh, I'm gonna use this, and then, Nutty, what is this card? I've never seen this before. This is the legendary rarest card in the entire table. But yeah, we're able to play, in co-op. But yeah, for the co-op, right, it's kind of like, what do you call it? Like a gameplay without reward. Yeah, that's what I plan to say. In co-op or matchmaking mode, there's a time limit for performing action. I mean, what they're trying to say over here is kind of like in PvE TCG, right? When you are fighting against NPC, there will be a time limit, which is good, I mean, like sometimes when you're playing a game, and you might have something to do, and you can just go and do your things without having to worry about the game, Yeah. When times run out, the end phase we automatically declare. Okay. But yeah, they didn't mention like how many seconds for each round, right? Each turn. You're gonna see. I mean, if the time given is too little, maybe we can give feedback to them. Yeah. And they say that, yeah, they're gonna make adjustment to ensure that the card game is well balanced. I kind of feel like Hoyoverse is actually serious on the trading card game. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this gameplay, and I hope you guys are looking forward to this gameplay as well. Because like in 3.3, I believe there is like like more or less just TCG, and you get like an interlude Archon quest, and yeah, is there anything? But I kind of feel like the main focus is like the TCG. And I can try to have a look, right? Okay, over here we have some advanced rule, we have some deck composition. We can open the gadget, like this gadget right here, to add it to the deck. And each deck need 3 valid character and 30 valid action card. Okay. Yeah, so for character card, as shown earlier, we can get character card by completing the we're gonna use our invitation letter to invite the character, right? And then we're gonna fight and win them like 3 times in a row. I'm not too sure. I can't feel like it's just 3 times. It's like not in a row. But after defeating the character for like 3 times, we're able to get like the character card. We can use it in our deck and get the card that we want to use. And the deck usage. But that's the thing. I'm not too sure like whether like the character is bind to a certain weapon type. I'm not too sure about that. For Diluc, are we able to use like, a bow for Diluc? Or Claymore for Kea? I'm not too sure, but we're gonna find out together. When the TCG drops. Deck usage. How to use character card? Okay, over here we have a Diluc, and character HP will appear at the top left. Okay, I think we know about that, right? And earlier though, like Ocean is having like lots of HP, right? And our character card is having like much lesser HP. HP will decrease when the character takes damage. go down when their HP reaches 0. Okay. And over here, it shows like what are the elements on the card is about. You know, over here, there is like the energy, right? The character energy. Yeah, I kind of mentioned about this earlier, like the normal attack and elemental skill. I mean, after using normal attack and elemental skill, you're gonna gain the charge. Yeah, which means that for a certain character, right? There are like certain characters that only require 2 energy charge to get the burst out. You know, I mean, on a single round, you can just use your normal attack and then use the elemental skill, and you can just use your burst instantly. And for a certain cut like Diluc and K over here, like apparently they have like 3 charges. So I mean, there might be some other action card that can increase their points over here at the top right, right? And you're able to cast like tons of skill on the enemy in a single round and just destroy them. And it's gonna be interesting. When the character energy max out, you can use elemental die to allow your character to unleash powerful elemental burst. They're gonna cost like 4 though. I mean, if you want to, okay, I don't think it's possible. So apparently, yeah, like over here they have like 3, 6, right? Yeah, you can't actually use like all 3 in the same round. Like earlier though, let's have a look at Sucrose. I think they showed like Sucrose here earlier. Yeah, Sucrose can need like 2, but I'm not too sure like how many chargers does Sucrose need. Do they show? Oh, never mind, it doesn't show. Yeah, I mean, technically speaking, they should be aware of that, you know, as in you're not able to use like all 3 in the same round, or else it will be too broken, right? Unless there are like certain action cards that can increase the elemental die, and you know, you can just use like boom, 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 all 3 together. And you're gonna do like massive damage on the enemy. I kind of feel like probably won't happen, but we're gonna see how everything goes. I mean, in the future, they might add a card that can increase elemental die or something. You know, it might be a support card that can increase 2 die. Yeah, every character card and an equipment card statuses, combat status attached to it. So there'll be equipment card, you know, you can equip weapon on your character card, and artifact equipment card, okay? So basically you can have 2 cards on your card, and you're gonna increase your damage, right? It would be funny if it actually reduces your damage. I mean, it might be an artifact that reduces your damage but increases your defense and stuff, you know, so you can tank longer. Now that's kind of like another way, you know, to fight against the enemy, so that you're able to sustain until the end, until all their action cards are depleted and it's time for you to come back. But they never mention like whether you're able to take off your weapon or artifact over here. You know, they just say that, oh, you can equip, I mean, attach the weapon and artifact card. And statuses is kind of like something, you know, when you use your burst, and there'll be some effects on your character. Yeah, you should be able to deal like more damage. And I believe like statuses, right, is attached to a character card, and combat statuses is not attached to a card. Like the difference between statuses and combat statuses, right, is that combat statuses, when you switch to another character, right, yeah, the buff will go to the other character. It's kind of like when you play Genshin, right? You use Kaya, use Elemental Burst, and you switch to another character. You know, the Elemental Burst of Kaya will still be active, right? Unlike the statuses on Razor, when you use a burst on Razor, when you switch to other character and switch it back to Razor, the buff will disappear. And it's kind of like what they're trying to tell us over here, like the differences between statuses and combat statuses. And yeah, when you are switching your character, and you spend like any one elemental die, like any elemental die, right? And yo, by the way, when you switch character though, it will just end your round instantly. So I'm not too sure like why they mention like one elemental die of your choice, because which choice I pick doesn't really matter, I would say. I mean, I might be wrong. Like, please let me know if I misinterpret whatever they're trying to say over here, because like down there they will mention about the combat and fun section. We're gonna go through that later. Okay, over here there's an action card. There will be equipment card, event card, and support card. Equipment includes like weapon and artifact card, right? And for example, Wolf Gravestone, you're gonna increase the character damage by 1, deal 2 additional damage If target remaining HP is equal or less than 6, only Claymore character can equip this. Oh, okay. I guess the weapon itself is actually locked. I mean, based on weapon type, because it is being mentioned here, you know. Claymore character can equip this. A character can equip a maximum of 1 weapon. That they're trying to explain. Okay. So, I mean, this weapon though, this Wolf Gravestone is good on PvP, I would say. As in, if you're using Wolf Gravestone in the PvE content, right? I mean, Oceany earlier, we kind of saw that he has like 24 HP. I mean, like, bro. you gotta take like so long for you to get the +2 additional damage. And when you reach that stage, right, the boss is almost dead soon. Yeah, like this is kind of like not that good in that case. Yeah. And over here we are strategize, draw 2 cards. When you play the strategizing card, you know, you can get 2 cards instantly and just use them. But it depends on your, I mean, like how many elemental die you have as well, right? Okay, place this in your support zone. Continuously apply supporting effect. Yeah, I kind of feel like this Jade Chamber over here is kind of similar to the Paimon card. And there are like certain cards where it will expire over a certain amount of rounds, right? But over here, the Jade Chamber is, I mean, not too sure it's like permanent or not, right? Because they didn't mention that this Jade Chamber gonna exist for how many rounds. 2 of the starting elemental die you roll are always guaranteed to match the elemental die of your active character. Yeah, pretty cool. I believe there will be cards that are able to just, you know, take away this support card. I mean the active support card. During a match, a 30 action card in the deck will form a draw pile. Each player will draw a card from the pile. Use the card in your hand, corresponding elemental die. So there will be like light hexagon and it's hexagon. Yeah, it's a light and a dark one. And yeah, you're gonna consume the light one and you must pay the direct amount of matching elemental die. So you're able to use like, you know, if the game, I mean, if the card is requiring you to use like 2 matching element, you know, you can use like 2 pyro, 2 cryo, 2 hydro. I mean, like any elemental die as long as like 2 in the matching element, right, of the same color. And for unaligned element, it will consume the dark cost. You must pay direct amount of elemental die regardless of the type. This is kind of like you can use any random die, you know. I mean, the unaligned element is kind of like slightly better, you know, in terms of I mean, just in case you get like lots of random die when you reroll, you know, you're able to use them. But I believe that the buff on the dark cost, you know, will be slightly weaker than the white because there is like a requirement over here which makes it slightly harder to execute. I mean, the matching element. Yeah. And moving on, we have like if you don't have the elemental die, you know, you can do the elemental switching thing by discarding one of your action card to switch the elemental die. Oh, it's known as elemental tuning. Play card with effect that allow you to reroll. Okay, so apparently over here they kind of mentioned that there will be certain card that allows you to reroll your elemental die. Okay, which means that, you know, in the middle of the round you're able to just reroll your die just in case that you don't like the remaining die that you have. Okay, combat action and fast action. Over here they kind of mentioned that fast action is kind of like when you use, I mean, when you do something, right, after doing something you are able to do another thing. And they kind of mentioned over here, you know, playing a card and elemental tuning are like fast action. It's kind of like after doing those things your round is not end yet, but if you're doing combat action, you know, your round end instantly. So for example, when you use your skill switching character or decline round end or like combat actions, so you can only choose between the attack the enemy or switching character. So for example, if you switch out your character, right, you're not able to attack the enemy anymore. Yeah. So And there are like certain action cards, you know, they have a remark over here that says some action card follows the combat action rules. You know, when you use the action card, your round ends instantly. So you're gonna be careful about that when reading the description of the card. Yeah, because you might be using an action card at the beginning and your round just suddenly ends. And yeah, it's gonna be extremely depressing, especially when you are fighting someone and you're about to win, you know, and just like one simple mistake might just cost the entire game. Yeah, you're gonna be careful on that. Use the rule to optimize the use of elemental die. Right card combination and use the right skill to make character card attack even more powerful. Yeah, I mean there is actually a lot of planning and thought process that need to go through, you know, when you're building a deck and when you are fighting the enemy. Like the elemental reaction, yeah, there will be elemental reaction in the TCG, so you need to know like, okay, the order of element that you need to apply on the enemy, like when you are switching character, you know, whether in the future, like whether the element will still, I mean the elemental status will still be on the enemy, or will the enemy just remove the elemental status on them, right, during their turn, you know, or you can just summon something that is able to, I mean, you can summon, you know, like the official elemental skill and have a summons that constantly apply electro on the enemy, so that even if they try to remove it, you know, yeah, the burp gonna apply the the electro again. Yeah, something like that. I mean, the gameplay itself gonna be extremely complex and interesting. Certain environment condition. Okay, so yeah, I kind of feel like in certain PvE, I mean, I'm not too sure whether this is being applied for PvP content as well, but yeah, there will be certain, I mean, environment or condition will also apply elements to character. Oh, never mind. Apparently, this is a support card. Your active character gain hydro application. So you're able to use like a support card that changes the environment. Okay. And your anemo character is able to have like hydro application. Anemo damage and geo damage do not apply their corresponding element. Yeah, that makes sense. Do not apply. I mean, oh, wait, what? Oh yeah, that makes sense. I mean, in normal Genshin, right, Anemo and Geo elemental statuses does apply on the enemy, but in the TCG it doesn't work that way. We only get like 5 other elements. I mean, like previously in the special program, right, they kind of showcase that Noelle, when she hit the enemy, you know, you're gonna get a point of shield. But yeah, that actually makes sense. Like Anemo and Geo doesn't apply elements onto the enemy, so there are only 5 elements available. Huh. But I guess Anemo attack, you know, when it hits the enemy, there will be soul effects, right? Elemental reaction rule: when the target had elemental application, dealing a specific type of elemental damage will trigger elemental reaction. Okay, so Diluc have like Pyro, hit on Hydro, and you get boom -5. Ocean is actually having like 30 HP. Yeah, it makes the Wolf Gravestone look so bad actually, because Wolf Gravestone passive only increase damage by 2 when the enemy HP reach like 6 or below, and like 30 is like so far ahead. Using non-damage effect to perform specific elemental application will also trigger an elemental reaction. When calculating the effect of such elemental reaction, all damage dealing effect will be ignored. Non-damage effect to perform elemental application. Oh, okay. It's kind of referring to like the elemental reaction. I mean, there's like a multiplier, right? And if you're using something that doesn't deal damage, right? And it's kind of like 10 multiplied to 0 and you get zeros kind of thing, you know? And it doesn't deal like much damage. That's kind of like, from my understanding, I might be wrong on this. I'm not too sure what they mean by this. But yeah, you guys can let me know in the comment section. Use elemental reactions strategically to further increase the damage dealt by your character cards. Okay. Yeah, it's just very complex actually. Like what I mean, I've been going through everything over here for the past 45 minutes. I mean, I'm gonna upload this 45-minute video onto YouTube. It's interesting, like how, I mean, whatever that they have designed, right, is very interesting. The amount of possibilities that you can come up with is actually endless. And there is some probability involved, but there are like rerolls on action card and your elemental die as well, which makes it slightly complicated, right? And based on the special program as well, a certain elemental reaction will force your active character to become inactive, and you need to have like another active character kind of thing, you know, which makes everything much more interesting. Yeah, we're gonna find out together, you know, when 3.3 drops. Yeah, see you guys next time. Bye bye.